Don't listen to this video so loud. Whew. Happy Memorial Day Saturday, Memorial Day weekend Saturday. I am hurting a little bit because we had a live stream, surprise live stream last night. Unplanned. I planned it like 2 hours in advance, where the missus and I just hung out with you guys for like 3 hours last night. Like 400 and something people showed up and we hadn't planned it. It was fun. Like, we had so much fun, but some of you evil bastards kept tipping and super stickering and going, take a shot out of the bottle, and the missus drank a third of a jar of Shine last night, and she doesn't even perform like that normally, so she's in bed still. But we are going to ride all day today because we are child free until tomorrow. So I'm going to go ahead and install that Graffeo exhaust. So, because what I need right now is something that's really loud. So we'll do that. Stay quiet though. So how many times on this channel have I done a video where I'm taking an exhaust off and on, or even the same exhaust? It's stupid. So it's for those of you that are new to the channel, welcome. If you haven't hit subscribe, please do. Something weird's going on in the background at YouTube. You see a certain subscriber and view count. On the back end, I'm seeing weird stuff all over the place, so I don't know what's happening. So if you think you're subscribed, do me a favor and just check and make sure, because there's people that are, it's weird. I'm hearing this from viewers too, so. All right, so what we're gonna do is pop off that bag. I mean, come on, you guys know how to do an exhaust. It's 4 flange nuts. The clamp that I made, because SNS doesn't have one yet for the 21 because of the clutch cable thing. That bracket, pop the muffler off, pop the shields off. Woo! I don't even have to take the O2 sensors out of this because I bought this pipe used from a buddy, and he's building custom bagger, and he left the O2 sensors in, and he promised me those are not wideband. I'm looking at them. I think they're standard size. Yeah, they're not like bigger. So it's already O2 sensors in them, and Graffeo. The bracket to it was lost at some point. Graffeo was cool enough to send me a new bracket. So one thing I'll say before I even get started, this is really a high quality kind of piece. Again, I paid for this. I bought this from a buddy. They are pricey, but it is a handmade stainless steel exhaust that are like made by hand. I keep saying handmade. By hand, like one at a time. You know, you place an order and you'll get it in 3, 4, 6 weeks, something like that. That's in a normal time. I don't know what it is right now. So, no relationship. They don't know me from Adam, but it's a really nicely made pipe. I mean, I love the little logo that's tack welded on there, and you can see it's been used. And they sent me a brand new stainless steel bracket to hang it. So, it's cool. I'm not, and Van Black's going to send me a new fender and bag that won't have a cutout, you know, like that. But I'm going to run with that cutout for a little bit. And here's the good thing. I'm not married to any of this. So some of you have said, you're going to hate the low-end torque. It's going to be too loud, and da-da-da-da, and it might be true. And if that's the case, I mean, I've run loud exhaust before. That's not, I mean, I used to run big radius on my Ultra, my Road Glide Ultra, with the baffles in. Had an old fat boy used to run big radius baffles out. So it's not that the exhaust is going to irritate me being too loud. It's just that I don't know how well I can get the tune right, you know, with no tuners on the market and stuff. So I'm going to swap this exhaust, ride with it that way. If it's cool, I'll leave it. If not, then I can always pop it off and put it back, you know, put the SNS back on. So before you guys email me going, can I have the old exhaust? I'm going to hold on to it for a bit. So let's get started. I'm delaying the work. The birds are loud today. I hate birds. I'm going to take the muffler off. Oh, why? Oh, that's bad. There you go. Oh, sweet Mother Mary and Joseph. Whew. Sucks. Sucks. Not enjoyable when you don't feel good, you know? Because I really enjoy working on my bike. I untie the knots in my head. You know what I mean? When I'm doing that. But when you're doing it and you don't feel so good, it's not as enjoyable. And you know, let go of bolt. No, there we go. Is that as loud on tape as it is on... See, I just showed my age. I said on tape. Oh, man. I also really like doing exhaust because it's like a major transformation that's within my abilities. You know, I don't have the guts to tear into a motor and put bigger jugs on it. That joke never gets old. Bigger jugs. Love bigger jugs. We all love bigger jugs. Or like a cam, you know, getting in there and doing that. I don't have the confidence to do that yet. Someday. I mean, I almost did the cam job on CVO actually, because I've watched a million videos. I know I could do it. I just don't have the guts to be like, this could cost thousands of dollars of damage if I do it wrong, you know. But what really stopped me was that tool you got to buy. You actually got to buy a tool to pull everything out just right, and that's like 300 bucks. I'm like, well, hell, you know. I'm delaying the work again, so we'll get back at this. Jesus. Another thing I was realizing, I never could get this pipe, and I've done exhaust a lot, so before you go, you just did it wrong. I never could get this pipe to line up right. Like the shields are a bit wonky. It's just not sitting on there right. And it's a little ticky up top. I'm not knocking SNS. I'm a huge SNS fan. But I never could get this pipe just right for some reason. So, I don't know. Well, maybe, even if I go back to it, maybe taking it all off, and if I end up going back to it, putting it all back on, it should be right the second time, right? So, let's get back at it. +1 for the Graffeo exhaust. I wanted to put something like this back on. Exhaust shields. They're just a pain in the ass. You know what I mean? Can't do nothing exhaust without taking the shields all off and going through all that friggin' mess, and it's just a pain in the ass. No, I don't use a power ratchet to put them on, only take them off. Let go. Oh, I gotta take the floorboard off. God damn, I'm just not on my A game. Lots of garage yoga. Meaning getting up and down 1,000 times because, oh, I forgot that tool, I forgot that tool, I don't have this I need, I don't, you know, blah, blah, blah. Don't you hate that? And I go through everything going, now I've got it all. You know, you don't. You're not prepared. So, verdict on the floorboard spacers. I'd do that if you hadn't. I did a video a long time ago where I did something as simple as these 1-inch floorboard spacers. Stop. And simplest thing, man. Longer bolts and these little bits that go between your floorboard and the bike. Moves them out about 1 inch. Got them on Amazon. I don't remember what I paid for them. One more like 50. I don't know, something like that. But you know, I've had some people like, what about in the turns? Dude, it's a touring bike. Like, I'm touring on it. I haven't grabbed the boards yet, I don't think, on this guy. Also, it's an Ultra, so it sits higher. So, you know, that may be why. I don't know about on a special. What? Why? No. Bad, you son of a... It's all fine. Everything's fine. There we go. Now, my custom bracketry has to come off that I made on an earlier video. 4 flange bolts, unplug the O2 sensors, and that'll come off and new one. This is not hard stuff. If you've never done exhaust before, get your hands dirty, get in there. It's not much to it. You're like, that comes off there. So what you're gonna have is 4 flange nuts. You're gonna have some sort of clamp down at the bottom of the motor. I'll show you on this one. You have some kind of clamp like this here. If you got a crossover, there's a, you might even see the nut under there. I can't tell. But there's normally a, you know, a mount here. And that will, you know, hold up the crossover pipe. Then you got exhaust clamps there. And then on the other side, I bet you could run it like this and it would sound a lot like it's going to with a Graffeo pipe on it. No, Graffeo pipe's larger radius. Interesting. And the pipe paths like this, so it's gonna be different than anything I ever had before. All right, so we can get that clamp off in the flange nuts, and then she's gonna come off, and then we'll get this back together, and then have a headache from the noise. All right. If you can't tell by the wardrobe change, we're a day later. I ran into a snag during the exhaust changeover. which completely screwed me up. So you guys who were with us on Friday night for the live stream know that we have a lot of fun on live streams and drink a lot of Fireball, and I was hurting yesterday. Anyway, I pulled off a stock exhaust, got up early yesterday morning, hurting, I said it, didn't I? To remove the stock, the S&S pipe to put on this Graffeo 2-in-1 turnout before we were going for a ride yesterday. And you know that voice is like, this is a bad idea. It was a bad idea. So what I did is I took off the S&S and then realized that they don't use the same exhaust gasket. And I haven't seen this gasket. I've seen it before, but it's been a long time. So in short, there's the S&S head pipe. Stop irritating me. Okay. Here's the S&S pipe. You see it's kind of conical, rounded off on the tip there. Just the tip is tapered. There you go. Couldn't think of the word. And when your pipe is like that, which is stock, S&S, whatnot, most of the pipes I see, the exhaust gasket looks like this. It's kind of bowl shaped, for lack of better. It's made to, there you go, to match that. Back in the day, and on some exhausts, that gasket is shorter, meaning it only, is about half as tall, and it's blocked off, it's square, because the pipe is square, and that's what this Graffeo is. So, here's the noise is still terrible. So there's the Graffeo pipe, and you see it is not tapered at all. So, contacted Graffeo, again, I think the actual dude, and he responded immediately via Facebook, like Messenger. And he said, yeah, here's the gasket you need. Not his fault. I bought this pipe secondhand, so this is not his fault at all. And he's like, here's the gasket you need, and it's the Vance and Hines style, older model style, gasket, but it is the correct one for a modern Milwaukee 8 if you're using this pipe. They have it on Amazon. It was a one-day, because no one down here is worth a damn and has it in stock, I'm sure. So that'll be here today. So, in short, screwed up my whole day yesterday. So if I can get this finished today, maybe ride tonight or tomorrow on actual Memorial Day. I hope you're enjoying some time with your family on Memorial Day weekend, but for the 1000th time, don't forget why. That's my little commercial. So I'll check back as soon as those gaskets get here. Because I don't think this is going to take long, now that I've said that, I don't think it's going to take long once I have the correct friggin' gasket to do the job. So let's see, shall we? Be back in a bit. Bye. Gaskets are here. And so I'm going to finish this pipe job. I thought of something, I get a lot of snarky comments, and I thought of one that was funny the other day. That this guy says, you get your oil changed at the Harley dealership? And I said, well, I buy the prepaid maintenance because it's cheap. Like, I think it's like $1,500 for 2 years unlimited mileage, all your services. Because they know that a lot of dudes don't ride much, so it balances out, like insurance. And it's $1,500 for, again, you own the bike for the first 2 years. As many miles you put on it, you get the appropriate service level. So I'm gonna get my money out of it. You get an oil change every 2,500 miles plus the major services. So I've already gotten the 1,000-mile done on this one. Pretty soon I'm going to need a first oil change. Then I'll get the 5,000, the 10,000, the 15. You got to think like plus the 2,500-mile oil change. $1,500 if you do the math. Ain't bad, So anyway, but what made me think of this was the guy says, "You get your oil change at the dealership?" I'm like, yeah, it's cheaper. I haven't always. I've owned bikes forever. I always maintain my own stuff because I didn't have the money to have someone else do it, and only do it today because it's cheaper. And then I was thinking, you're asking me if I know how to change oil while on a video where I'm changing an exhaust. People are just stupid. You know what I mean? Like, there's just so many dumbasses out there. But anyway, so I have the correct gasket now. You can see I've already picked out the old one. These picks are so useful. Woo! So I already picked out the old one. The new ones are a lot smaller. And again, they're boxed. They just stick up inside there and the pipe goes flush. So now I gotta, this is only on there with a finger tight flange nut. So I'm gonna pull this off, pick out that gasket, stick in the new one, get these pipes on. And in theory, it's not gonna be very tough after that. We'll see. Because it is, custom exhausts. This is made for this motor, but custom exhausts aren't manufactured. You know, bam, bam, bam. They don't make 5,000 of them. So, you know, fitting might be fiddly. We'll see. I'll be back in a minute because I need 2 hands. That's too many jokes. All right. You ever squeeze so hard on your Loctite tube that the back end of it blows out? I look like, you can't see the rest. I look like fucking Papa Smurf now. That's a new one. That's never happened. So she's clogged up and I'm squeezing to get some, just a little bit out on the flange nuts. Not much. And the back end of it blew out. So now I'm a Smurf. Damn it. Well, at least I know my shirt's not gonna come loose anytime soon. So, it's on. I haven't started it yet. You and I are gonna hear this together for the first time. I've plugged in the O2 sensors and I've pathed the wires, but I guess we gotta zip tie them up with the floorboard on and everything else. But you and I are gonna hear this together for the first time. So let the fat man get up and then we'll give it a shot. All right. Woo. I don't know how this is gonna go. What is it? Boxes of baby dolls. My mother-in-law's over for tonight, and anyway. So here's the actual look of the pipe. So I like the look of it. I'm always rocking out, that's all I can tell you. So that's what the pipe looks like. You know, it's just welded stainless steel. And I got a button up. Of course, the side cover's not on, the bag, the floorboard's still off. But I have not heard it run yet. So we're gonna hear this together for the first time. Clutch adjuster, making sure it wasn't close to it. It's got WD-40 all over it because I had to use it to get the collector 2-in-1 off of it. Yeah, the smoke is the liquid blast that I put all over the inside and out of it, because when I was putting it on, you know, there's 2 pipes that are separate, and then that 2-in-1, you know, slips on over those 2. And it was a real pain to get number 1 cylinder out of there. Like, it was stuck in there turning it. So I had to just coat the whole thing in liquid blaster. This stuff I buy by the friggin' case. And I coated the whole pipe in there so I could get that off there, and finally worked. And then doctored them up real good with it before I put them back on to make sure I was gonna be able to get the collector up far enough on it. So that's all that stuff burning off of it. I promise that's all it is. And I like it. So I'll start it again in a second here, but it's loud. And some of you are out there saying it's obnoxious. I don't think it's obnoxious, because I used to run 2-in-1, I'm sorry, 2-in-2, the big radius pipes. The 2-in-2 big radius. And to me, that sounds like those with the baffles in. That's 2 separate, just long swoop pipes that exit down the bottom. And with the baffles in, that's what those sound like. If you take the baffles out of it, you had very little low end power, just a lot of noise, no detonation because I tuned it properly, but you know, whatnot. I think that 2-in-1, you know, this sort of collector here, I think is giving it some back pressure, and that's why you heard it when I whacked the throttle that it didn't. Well, first off, it didn't decel pop. Number 2, it doesn't sound like it's going to have that deceleration. You know, that where it's louder decelerating than accelerating. So we'll see. You know, is this a permanent? I don't know. I mean, I might change my mind and put the S&S back on it. I hope not, because I really think this is cool. And let me button her up so you can see what the bike's going to look like. But I like that it's different. I'm not going to see a bunch of Graffeo pipes when I go to places. So yeah, let me button this up and I'll come back in. But I think it sounds badass. We'll start it again in a bit. All right, so the new one, Improved Johnny Cash. Weather looks like it's going to cooperate for a little ride, doesn't it? Yeah. Bike's dirty anyway, needs to be rained on. All right, so there she be. And then I don't do that swoopy music stuff like the millennials do, but there you go. I like it. I think it definitely is a geezer glide, right? This kind of de-geezers it a little bit, you know, a little more. I like it a lot. I'm gonna like it more when it's got miles on it and it turns gold and blue and changes colors. I actually like that look on this kind of pipe. So looks a little empty in here now without a pipe, but I guys told you this before. My buddy, not buddies now, who's the boss at Van Black, he's sending me the correct rear end. So I have a hole in my ass now. We all do. This is, you know. But yeah, I got an opening there now, I know. But he's gonna send me the correct fender and bag so we can close that up. Also, something that's stuck in the port right now trying to get in, which I didn't notice until I put this pipe on, is he's sending me the stretch side covers. Because that looks real, you know, open right there. So those stretch side covers kind of blend into that bag a bit. That's gonna close that off, so that's gonna look nice. So let's hear her again before I go get some jeans on and we'll run her in proper. I also want to see if I get any, you know, check engine lights and stuff. So again, yeah, I mean, it's loud, don't get me wrong, but it's not what I expected. You know, I expected it to be that kind of sloppy loud. You guys know what I'm talking about. That's sort of like exhaust is just dumping out of the motor, you know, and cracking and popping and sounding bitchy. But that design, Graffeo, so I have no relationship at all with that company. I bought that pipe used from a buddy of mine who's a viewer who had it on his badass bagger, and he's re-badassing it, so he's not using that pipe this time. So I bought that from him used. And Graffeo was cool enough to send me a new bracket and then help me figure out the proper gaskets and stuff. So I'm impressed with the company, but I bought and paid for that pipe. So Graffeo started as like race car exhausts, as I understand it, but on like European stuff, like Volkswagen. It's an American company. The dude's here, but Volkswagen stainless steel and Porsche and all that kind of stuff, where he started, and he started doing motorcycle exhausts several years ago. So he knows a bit about back pressures and whatnot. And I gotta tell you, there's no baffle in there, but it doesn't sound like a straight pipe to me, in my experience. Most straight pipes I hear sound really sloppy. And that sounds pretty damn good, pretty like out, sort of uncontrolled. So I'm gonna go get jeans on, because yes, you guys may or may not have figured it out. It's hot as hell down here. So when I'm working on the bikes in the garage, I'm in like shorts and flip-flops because it's too damn hot. I'm gonna go get jeans and boots on. We'll put some miles on and see if I don't get any errors on the dash. Get up there, mirror. And see if I get any pop and crackling. Because it's right now tuned for stage 1. We all know that ain't right. But the question is, will it get me by until some better tuning abilities are out there? So that's one concern I got. I'm gonna ride it no matter what, but we're gonna find out. Let me go get jeans, boots, and we'll roll together for a bit. And this is how I will be rolling through my subdivision from now on. A nice 1500 RPM roll, you know. I don't want to be that guy, you know. Got a lot of newborns in the neighborhood and stuff, and you know, respect. We talk about it all the time. There ain't no reason to be that dude. So I'll be back in a sec. So yeah. I like it. A lot of you said you're gonna lose low end torque. Maybe a little bit. I mean, my butt dyno says it's not terrible. You know what I mean? Is this on an actual dyno? Of course not. But you know, we always talk about the butt dyno, which is what do I feel. And I mean, I'll let you know because I'll hit it fairly hard when I get a spot to.
but it sounds great. And what I'm not getting is like any detonation at all. The camera's up on the fairing right now, so you're not seeing what I'm seeing. I'm looking down at the pipes to see. I mean, I get no detonation so far. She's not all the way through Rich Cycle yet, but we'll see. Yeah, listen to that. I would think she'd be popping if she was unhappy. So I don't know what voodoo Graffeo did in this pipe, but it's got some decent back pressure to it. I don't know how the hell he did that. I'm actually, I don't know if I'm hiding it, but I'm a little shocked. Like, I expected this to be like, well, it sounds good, but I don't know if I want to live with this long term because I don't want my bike running bad. I mean, this is, of course, this is premature, you know, but man, it sounds good. And I don't think it's too loud. Now, I grew up on, you know, my dad ran 1 3/4 drag pipes on his Sportster. So, you know, loud pipes save lives and all that, but also loud pipes make you feel all happy in the pants. I said it. So, you know, I like a loud bike. And I don't think this is that loud. I mean, it's loud, don't get me wrong, but it doesn't seem out of control to me. Does that dude, to me, is just like he, like, maybe not stay in that lane. All right. It's a good tone, and listen to that. No detonation yet. I'm really shocked at this. I don't feel like I'm getting any more heat in my right leg than I was before either, believe it or not. And there's no heat shields on these pipes, of course, and I was kind of wondering. And no, do I feel warmth? Well, yeah, dummy, you got a 114-inch motor next to your leg, but it's not cooking me like I kind of thought it might. Oh, I'm so happy. Kind of feel like a kid again, you know what I mean? Like, that kind of noise is fun. But again, cruising along, it's not a real sharp noise. I'm trying to do a proper review. I suck at this stuff, but some of you out there are thinking about it. And I know that, you know, just straight pipes in your ears get old after a while. And this would too, don't get me wrong. If you're someone who gets on the bike and does 1,000-mile days, you know, I wouldn't put this on my bike and do a hoka hay with it, you know, like that's going to get old. But for just riding and even doing a couple 100-mile days like I typically do, it's going to be fine. And if it's not, earplugs, you know. I'm going to be able to hear the stereo still too, which I can see Welcome to the Jungle's on right now. So I'm going to put you off for a minute. Remember what I said about the pipe not cooking my leg? Oh, the vent's closed. Hang on now. There you go. Woo! I'm rolling along thinking I'm smelling burritos, fajitas or something towards my right calf. All right, vent was closing the lower from when I was tightening the flange bolt in front. Oh, that's much better. Some airflow helps. I'm in love with this pipe, man. You know. So, from what I've seen, just so you know about these Graffeo pipes, again, they're made one at a time to order. I checked on the site, and it looks like it's about $1,100 to $1,200 for one of these things if you were to order this pipe. This one's called the Big Mouth. And someone messaged me saying that they had contacted Graffeo to look into ordering a pipe, and it's about 12 weeks out to get it made. Because again, it's made to order. You tell them exactly what bike you got, and yeah, whew, that's nice. Anyway, and then he makes it and ships it to you. So no, I don't have a discount code, no, because I don't know him. I mean, I've texted with him to get the bracket, but I have no relationship with Graffeo at all. So, but I do like this pipe. If you're looking for a stainless steel, I'd never heard of him. Again, it's such a small shop, you know. But if you're looking for something different than a Vance & Hines or an S&S or a Cobra or a you know, insert name here, D&D, whatever, this could be a nice option for you. So, anyway, that's all for today, kiddies. You can tell I love you because I put on this goddamn fully enclosed helmet. I wear a helmet these days, but it doesn't have a face shield, doesn't have a flip-down shield. It's got a chin bar. Because I don't do vlogging ride videos because, no offense, I love y'all, but my rides are for me. You know what I mean? And having to put this camera crap on my bike and run a wire with a microphone in my helmet, and it's just irritating and takes the fun out of the ride. So I'm going to run home, take all this shit off my bike and put my proper helmet on and get back out on the road and go for a little ride. So you guys all have a great rest of your long weekend. Remember what it's all about. This is not Veterans Day, I know that, but for all of you out there who may have very well given their lives for this country, a whole lot of love and respect to you. That's all. Take care of each other out there. Bye.